Hey everyone, so in the previous video we recorded the first settlement phase in our campaign, and in this video we're going to show you the hunt phase. So to set up the hunt phase, you're going to want to flip over this board here. Then you want to rotate this around so it's not upside down. You're going to need two decks, the generic hunt events deck and also the hunt events deck for whatever monster you're hunting. So this is a level 1 White Lion that we're trying to hunt. If you look at the showdown page for the quarry that you're hunting in the rulebook, you'll see that there's a diagram here showing you which hunt events you need to set up. The spaces marked with an E are hunt events specific to that monster from that monster's hunt event deck, and any blank spaces other than the first, last, and overwhelming darkness spaces are going to want a basic hunt event card. So I'm going to shuffle both event decks, and I know I need 3 White Lion hunt events, so I'm going to press the 3 key while hovering over that deck and put them down in these spaces. I need 2 basic hunt event cards, so I'm going to press 2 and put those down here and here. I'm not going to bother putting hunt events after Overwhelming Darkness because most likely I won't need them. And then I'll place the monster on the space shown in the rulebook, and any model to show where our party is on the first space on the tracker. Before revealing any cards, you're going to need to nominate an event revealer, and this passes around between each survivor each time you reveal an event. Because there's only 2 of us playing, me and my friend, we tend to just randomize who the event revealer is the first time we need to select one. But if you had 4 players, you could start with one person and rotate between each one. In this case, we randomly selected Urza. So with that, you're ready to begin, and we'll start by flipping over the first hunt event. So in this case, we got Scratching Grounds. It says, claw marks scar the ground. The survivors may choose to investigate. Each survivor that investigates gains +1 courage and rolls on the table. So in this instance, if nobody investigated, we'd have to roll a random hunt event in the rulebook, which I'll show you in a moment. So we decided to roll with every survivor, so each one will gain +1 courage and roll on the table. So I'm going to roll for my 2 survivors, and my friend's going to roll for her 2 survivors. White dice is the upper survivor, and black dice is the lower one. 2 and a 5. So my friend rolled a 6 and a 7, so for 3 of our survivors nothing happens, but for one of mine I take 1 event damage to the arm's location. Each of the survivors also gains 1 courage. So we move on to the next space, and since Urza was the event revealer previously, Alistair is going to be the event revealer this time. Prowling Lion. While the survivors stalk the White Lion, the monster hunts something else. Move the White Lion 1 space away from the survivors on the hunt board in pursuit of its prey. The White Lion starts the showdown with ground fighting in play. Build its AI deck normally. So we're going to move the White Lion 1 space further away on the tracker, and when we make the AI deck for the monster, we'll need to make sure that the ground fighting card is also in play separately. So moving on, Lucy is the event revealer now, and we'll flip this card over. So because this is a basic hunt event card, all of which look like this, we'll just need to roll D100 on the events table, with the white dice being the 10s and the black dice being the 1s. So from the contents, we'll click on Hunt Events, and roll 2 dice to see which hunt event we get. So 0 and 4 is number 4, which is Famine. The path ahead is arid and dead. You may have survivors gain +1 courage and press on. Otherwise, roll again on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. If you press on, your stomachs grumble in the dark as you stumble forward. The survivors pool their supplies. The event revealer, which is Lucy, rolls 1d10 and adds +2 to their roll for each consumable gear or resource the group has. Since we only have 1 consumable item, this monster grease here, this table looks pretty terrible for us, so we decided not to roll on it. So that means we're going to have to roll again on the hunt event table before moving on. 38. So 38 is Gregalope. A massive Gregalope stands astride the horizon, its ancient body bloated with tumours and scar tissue. Its milky eyes catch sight of the survivors and it bounds away. Driven by a sudden desire, the survivors give chase. The event revealer rolls 1d10 and adds their movement to the roll. So the event revealer for this event was my survivor Kaede, and her movement is 5, so I'll roll a d10 and add 5. 7. We don't have the strategist fighting art, so we ignore this next paragraph. Since I rolled a 7, we get the result. The Gregalope is far too fast, it's gone before you know it. So moving on, the event revealer is now Urza. Oops. So we roll on the hunt event table again. 74. Antler Gouged. A great battle for dominance between 2 enormous antelopes has left the stone-faced ground gouged with crisscrossing scars. Each survivor rolls 1d10. I rolled a 2 and a 9, and Boar rolled a 9 and an 8. So for the 2 and 8, you carefully tread over the destroyed faces and nothing else happens. And for the 2 9s, we gain a founding stone each. So for the 2 founding stones we gained, this paragraph in the rulebook on page 63 says, if a survivor gains gear during the hunt phase, they may add it to their grid immediately. Usually you can't have multiple copies of the same piece of gear in your gear grid, but you can for weapons, so we can have a second founding stone on the 2 that gained 1. Just a quick note that if for whatever reason you end up back on the same hunt space again, and you've now resolved all of the events on it, you still need to resolve a random hunt event table event before you can move out of it. Okay, so now that we've resolved all of the hunt events, it's time to fight the monster because we've arrived at his space. And that concludes the hunt phase. I'm going to set up the AI deck for the monster now, with the ground fighting AI card also in play. And that's it, we're ready to fight the monster. Since I've already made a White Lion hunt video for the first story, I'm going to skip over this next hunt, and instead I'll make a video about the butcher next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.